Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. A truthful exploration of Christophe St. John's life is the focus of documentary on Young and Restless starring February 3, 2019. Daytime was rocked by the death of beloved The Young and the Restless vet Christophe St. John. The actor had been a mainstay on the CBS soap from 1991 until his last episode aired on February 6 that same year, and since then, his presence as Neil has been missed, along with much success. St. John dealt with many hardships, including the devastating death of his son Julian in 2014, and now his story is about to be told. Our sister site, Deadline, has learned exclusively that Randy J. Goodwin's production company, Fallen Giant Films, will be creating a new documentary, directed by Bobby Rozak, surrounding St. John's life and legacy. Viewers will be taken on a journey through the Daytime Emmy and NAACP Image Award winner's life, which began as a child actor, and will deliver a raw and intimate portrait of St. John, from success to his mental health struggles and losses. The documentary will give an inside look into the actor who was loved by his family, castmates, and fans. Christophe was more than just an incredibly talented actor. He was one of my closest friends, my brother. This documentary is both a heartfelt tribute and a truthful exploration of the amazing, complex person he was, Goodwin shared with the outlet. With Bobby Rozak directing, we're confident this story will be portrayed with the emotional honesty and artistic vision Christophe deserves. MIA St. John, the actor's ex-wife and the mother of their son Julian, will also contribute. Fans can expect to see the project in early 2026, and more details will be released about a scripted biopic on his life that is currently in the developmental stages. For decades, fans of The Young and the Restless knew him as Neil Winter, suave, driven, emotionally complex businessman, whose presence brought depth, diversity, and gravitas to daytime TV. But behind Christophe St. John's charismatic smile, dashing looks, and Emmy-winning performances was a man navigating intense personal battles, deep-rooted trauma, and relentless tragedy. Now, years after his passing, a powerful new documentary titled Christophe, a truthful exploration takes audiences behind the curtain, revealing the man beyond the icon. With interviews from family, friends, colleagues, and Christophe himself through archival recordings, the film offers a raw, unflinching portrayal of a man who lived in the light while battling shadows no one truly saw coming. Chapter 1, Breaking Barriers in Daytime Television. Christophe Andre St. John entered the world of television not simply to act, but to make history. In 1991, when Christophe debuted as Neil Winters, it marked a pivotal moment. Daytime soaps were notoriously slow in showcasing black leads, but Neil was not a sidekick or background filler. He was successful, ambitious, and emotionally layered, a rarity on a soap filled with cookie-cutter business moguls and love triangles. For 28 years, Christophe portrayed Neil with authenticity and heart. He didn't just play a character, he infused him with lived experience and soul. Neil's journey through relationships, addiction, fatherhood, and self-discovery was mirrored by Christophe's real-life struggles, creating an eerie but compelling parallel. Yet while Neil was fictional, Christophe's pain was very real, far more brutal than anyone watching The Young and the Restless could have imagined. Chapter 2, Childhood Shadows and Lost Innocence. One of the documentary's most harrowing revelations is Christophe's account of sexual abuse as a child. He spoke candidly in private recordings, which the documentary includes, about the trauma he suffered at the hands of Sathya Sai Baba, a revered Indian guru. What began as a family pilgrimage to spiritual healing turned into a horrific violation of innocence. He was 8 years old, recounts Mia St. John, Christophe's ex-wife and closest confidant. He told his father, but it was brushed under the rug. That moment shaped everything that followed. This childhood trauma set the stage for a life marked by addiction, emotional volatility, and a desperate search for self. The documentary frames Christophe's public persona against this personal pain, showing how he learned to smile on screen while silently screaming off it. Chapter 3, A Star Rises While a Man Unravels. Christophe didn't just act, he radiated. Whether on soap sets or red carpets, his charm was magnetic. His role as Neil Winters became so iconic that even viewers unfamiliar with Y&R could recognize him. But behind that glow was a man struggling to contain a storm. According to longtime friend and actor Randy J. Goodwin, who also produced the documentary, Christophe was a genius performer with a heart too big to carry alone. Addiction became Christophe's silent partner. Crack cocaine, alcohol, and prescription medications followed him throughout his adult life. In candid footage from an anonymous 12-step meeting, Christophe can be heard saying, "I don't do this for pity. I do it because I want to stop pretending that everything's okay." This is where the documentary excels. It doesn't romanticize his pain, it gives voice to it, honoring his resilience while acknowledging his demons. Chapter 4, Love, Marriage, and the Greatest Loss. Christophe's relationship with Mia St. John, a former boxer and advocate for mental health awareness, is a centerpiece of the film. Their love story was as passionate as it was turbulent, forged through shared ideals, creative energy, and ultimately, unimaginable grief. Their son, Julian St. John, was diagnosed with schizophrenia as a teenager. Despite years of therapy, hospitalizations, and efforts to help him, Julian tragically died by suicide in 2014, at just 24 years old. Christoph never recovered from that loss. Mia says through tears in the film, he stopped eating, he stopped caring. He was already fragile, but after Julian, he was a ghost. The documentary devotes significant time to Julian, not just as Christoph's son, but as a gentle soul caught in a mental health crisis. The tragedy is shared openly, laying bare the depth of parental pain and the societal gaps in mental health care that contributed to their loss. Chapter 5. Fame's crushing weight. Fame, for Christoph, was both salvation and curse. In one striking moment, Christoph is shown in a 2016 red carpet interview joking about being the token black guy on daytime for too long. The audience laughs, but behind the joke lies a sobering truth. Being a pioneer often means being isolated. He felt trapped between maintaining his professional image and addressing personal despair. His attempts to seek help were met with stigma, misdiagnoses, or short-term solutions. He would show up to set with trembling hands, recalls a former Y&R crew member interviewed anonymously. But he knew every line. He gave everything until there was nothing left. Chapter 6. A voice that still echoes toward the documentary's conclusion. Christoph's voice, recorded in a reflective voicemail, plays over a montage of home videos. If you're hearing this, it means I'm gone. I don't want you to cry, just know I tried. I really, really tried. This haunting message has stuck with audiences since the film's early screenings. It encapsulates the core of the documentary: truth without polish, pain without pity, love without condition. Christoph St. John died on February 3, 2019, from hypertrophic heart disease and alcohol abuse. He was 52, but through this film, he speaks louder than ever. Chapter 7. Mia's mission and the fight for awareness. Mia St. John has since become a fierce mental health advocate. She spearheaded the Al-Saber Ease Potter Foundation in Julian's memory, and continues to campaign for destigmatizing mental illness and addiction. In the documentary, Mia discusses her own suicide attempt, and her survival is both a cautionary tale and a beacon of hope. I live because they can't. I speak because Christoph and Julian no longer can. Her message is clear. Christoph's story cannot end with tragedy. It must serve as a rallying cry for support, treatment, and compassion for the millions silently battling the same demons. Chapter 8. Industry reaction and public reception following its release. Christoph has garnered critical acclaim and audience praise for its bravery, vulnerability, and narrative integrity. Shamar Moore, Christoph's close friend and Y&R co-star, shared in a recent post, "Christoph was my brother. This film honors everything. He was his genius, his darkness, his beauty. I'm proud of it. He would be too." Others in the industry echoed similar sentiments, urging Hollywood to recognize not just the glitz of fame, but the invisible costs behind it. Chapter 9. The documentary's structure and creative choices. By Bobby Rozak, a filmmaker known for raw, intimate documentaries, Christoph uses a collage format. It weaves archival footage, home movies, interviews, voiceovers, and even animated sequences to reflect Christoph's fractured psyche. The soundtrack, curated by Christoph's daughter Paris, includes haunting piano interludes, 90s hip-hop, and ambient scores that mirror the highs and lows of his life. Scenes are not linear, they spiral, jump, and loop. Much like Christoph's emotional landscape, this storytelling approach is praised for immersing the viewer not just in the events of Christoph's life, but in the experience of being him. Chapter 10. Why this story matters now. In a time where conversations around mental health, trauma, and racial identity are increasingly front and center, Christoph could not be more relevant. The film invites viewers to challenge their assumptions about celebrities. It reminds us that behind every red carpet smile is a human being, and that behind every tragic ending there may have been. In a time where conversations around mental health, trauma, and racial identity are increasingly front and center, Christoph could not be more relevant. The film invites viewers to challenge their assumptions about celebrities. It reminds us that behind every red carpet smile is a human being, and that behind every tragic ending, there may have been a dozen unanswered cries for help. Christoph's story isn't just about one man's fall, it's about all of us, and how society must do better. Conclusion. A truthful exploration. A lasting light. A truthful exploration isn't just a tagline. It's a mantra, one that Christoph lives up to in every frame. The documentary doesn't flinch from uncomfortable truths. It doesn't sugarcoat Christoph's addictions or idealize his memory. It shows him as he was, brilliant, broken, resilient, lost, and loved. As the final credits roll, Christoph's voice returns one last time. Tell the truth, even if your voice shakes. Even if it breaks your heart. Just tell the truth. And that's what this film does. Through truth, it honors him. Through truth, it redeems him. Through truth, it ensures he is never forgotten.